How long does it take to become a professional medium? And how do you know when it's time to go pro? In this video, I'm sharing 6 things that I would expect as a sitter who invests in a reading with a medium. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell too. That way you'll be notified the next time I release a new video. I share videos that are recordings of my readings so you can catch me in action, spiritual how-tos, meditations, and so much more. The last thing you will ever hear me say is a specific time frame for how long it takes to develop as a medium, and definitely how long it takes before you become a professional medium if that is a desire of yours. Putting a measurement of time on mediumship development is a big no-no for me because everyone is so very different and everybody goes at a different pace. Without a doubt, developing your mediumship in the direction of your full potential is a never-ending journey that takes a lot of commitment and work. When it comes to when you're ready to go pro, it's about your ability to consistently give quality readings. So I've made a list of my expectations were I to hire a medium for a reading. Number 1, you can consistently identify contacts for your sitters. This means that you can identify what spirit is coming through and what their relation is to your sitter in a reasonable amount of time. For me, I often get a clear sense of who the spirit is who's coming through at the start of the reading, sometimes even in the moments before. Other times I find myself leading with the personality, characteristics, gender, age range, and then I get the feeling or a symbol for exactly who someone is. Now, there are times that I'm bringing through a spirit and I'm not sure if the exact relation to the sitter, but the evidence I'm bringing through and the description of them is accurate, and so the sitter knows very clearly who it is. An example of this might be knowing that I have a mother figure and describing their character, their personality, but it's not actually the mother, and maybe I find out at the end of the reading that it's a mother-in-law. Number 2, you can consistently bring through specific evidential information that lets your sitter know their past loved one is present. Examples of this might be their gender, their age range, what side of the family they were on, or the relationship to the sitter, their personality, their characteristics, keepsakes they left behind, details of how they passed, pets that they had, their name, interactions they had with the sitter, or shared memories. That's one of my favorites, and so much more. Number 3, you can consistently bring through a message from your spirit contact to your sitters. Spirit doesn't just show up to give you a bunch of evidential information about who they were while they were alive here on Earth. They show up for a reason and with a message. Now, it might be a really simple message like, I love you, or I'm at peace, perhaps I'm no longer in pain, but a lot of times it's specific messages about what's going on presently in the sitter's life. Those are my absolute favorite, and you can see how moving they are for the sitter and how much healing they provide. Spirit will often give thanks, share gratitude, or offer apologies about things that happened while they were here on Earth. Number 4, you're able to maintain a high enough vibration to speak to spirit for at least 60 minutes at a time. Mediumistic readings require us to work with energy and to use energy, lots of it. We have to be able to maintain that high vibration that allows us to connect to spirit for as long as our readings are going to go on. Every medium has a different capacity for speaking to spirit. Some mediums give readings much more frequently than others. When you're ready to go pro, even if you're only giving 1 or 2 readings a week, you have to know that you can maintain a high vibration and connect to spirit for a long enough period of time that will allow you to fulfill the promise of delivering a reading to your sitter. Imagine you've booked a paid session with a professional medium. What are your expectations? If you're a medium, could you fulfill those expectations yourself? Number 5, and this one is so important, understand mediumship ethics and professionalism. Before you start giving readings professionally or even at all to the public, you've got to understand mediumship ethics, and that means what's okay during a reading and what's not okay. If you'd like to check out my video on mediumship ethics, definitely click above. You also want to know how to prepare your sitter before the reading and educate them about the process of mediumship. It's important to know how to communicate messages and evidence from spirit with love and compassion. So your demeanor while being able to communicate is incredibly important as well. And of course, Before you go pro, it's nice to know how to handle a reading when it doesn't go as expected. Perhaps it's hard to get a link, maybe your sitter is tricky and doesn't observe your boundaries. You may have to reschedule or refund somebody at some point. All of these things are important to be aware of before you go pro. And number 6, the pressure of receiving payment for your services doesn't shut down your ability to channel spirit. I've said many times in my videos that mediumship can sometimes feel incredibly elusive. Sometimes you're flying high and the next time spirit gives you a new challenge that makes you feel like you're set back. That's normal. It happens. Anything that adds pressure, however, can make it harder to channel spirit. Being a medium is about being in a receptive state and allowing yourself to bring through with ease what's coming in. When you try desperately or you're reaching for something or you have so much pressure on your shoulders that you go from a receiving state to a reaching state, this makes for a trickier reading that may not be as accurate. Sometimes I've heard from mediums that they can give great readings when they're not charging, but once they start charging, they feel too much pressure and they just can't give the same quality reading. There's ways to get around this. Make sure before you go pro and you start charging that you know that won't get in the way. There may be other ways to practice putting pressure on yourself. Something I did is starting to record all of my readings when I first started giving them. Now I don't think twice about them being recorded. You could also start out when you're ready to go pro and you know you give high quality readings, charging a price that doesn't scare the pants off of you so that you don't freak out when the reading begins. If you're interested in strengthening your clairs so you can speak to spirit, download my free guide below. It's called 3 Easy Exercises to Strengthen Your Clairs and Speak to Spirit. You can also check out my free training. It's called 3 Essential Practices to Strengthen Your Skills as a Medium. Both links are below in my video description. You can also check out mediumshipwithmel.com to book a private reading with me, a group reading, or to learn right along with me if you want to check out my development circle. Be sure to check out this video next, and if you like this video, give it a like. If you aren't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell again so that you'll be notified the next time I release a new video about all things mediumship.